Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Dunn. I was receiving a lot of questions about graphing for this problem in your homework. So this is the second question in the 3.3 homework. No one seemed to have any problem with the vertex part. So remember when you're finding the vertex, if I have this in standard form, I'm going to use the negative b over 2a. So the opposite of b would be positive 4, and 4 over negative 2. Remember, it's negative b over 2a, but a here is negative 1. So positive 4 over negative 2 is negative 2. So the x part of my vertex is negative 2. To find the y part of the vertex, plug in negative 2. And if I plug in negative 2, I end up with a y value of negative 1. So that's my vertex. And so based on the vertex, the axis of symmetry has to be x equals negative 2 because it's going to be the x part of the vertex. And because this lead coefficient is negative, I know the parabola is upside down, so it has a maximum value. And the y part of the vertex is the maximum. So the maximum value is negative 1. Okay, I don't think that was what most students had problems with. I think most students had problems with this part where you had to actually graph the functions. Let me show you what I would do. So the first thing I'm going to do is click to enlarge because that pulls up this palette of tools. Let me move this over so we can see it. I don't think you're going to be able to see the vertex. It's hidden now, but remember the vertex was negative 2, negative 1. So the first point that we have to plot is that vertex. I want to use the vertical parabola tool. If I hover over that, you'll notice the description of the tool shows up. So make sure you're using the vertical parabola tool. So I'll click on that, and then I'm going to go to the vertex, which, if you'll remember, was negative 2, negative 1. So I'm going to click on the vertex. So that's the first point that I plotted. Now I need another point to plot. So the next point I'm going to plot, I'm going to use an easy one. I'm going to use the y-intercept. So if I use the y-intercept, I'm going to plug 0 into this equation. So if I plug in a 0 here and a 0 here, I end up with negative 5. So when x is 0, y is negative 5. So I'm going to plot that point. Save it and check the answer. And that's how you do it. If sometimes I had another example here where the y-intercept wouldn't work because it wasn't shown. It was smaller than negative 10. If that happens, just plug in a point that would. Plug in like negative 1, for example, or negative 3. Find a point that will work. It's easy to do. You can plug that in your calculator to find some coordinating points. Anyway, hope that helps. And email me if you have any questions.